The spring home buying season just started, and sales just hit the lowest pace since the 2009 financial meltdown. At the same time, home prices just set a new all-time record high. Both of those things are true. Right now. Simultaneously. And if that sounds like it makes no sense, that's exactly why we need to talk about it. Depending on where you look, you're getting completely different pictures of this market. One headline says it's crashing. Another says prices have never been higher. Both are technically correct. Today, I'm going to show you what's actually happening underneath the surface, where the market stands, what drove rates back up just when things were improving, which cities are winning and which are falling apart, what the government is trying to do, and whether any of it will work, and what this means for you in 2026. Let's get into it. As of April 2026, the median home price just hit $408,800, a record high for March. According to the National Association of Realtors, that's the 33rd consecutive month of year-over-year price increases, almost 3 years straight without stopping. But at the same time, home sales just fell to their lowest level in 9 months, 3.98 million units annualized. Every region of the country saw sales drop month over month. This is supposed to be peak season, and buyers are sitting on their hands. So how do prices keep going up while fewer people are buying? There are not enough homes. Inventory sits at 1.36 million units. A balanced market needs 5 to 6 months of supply. We have 4.1. Before the pandemic, there were usually 2 million homes available. We're nowhere close to that. When supply is tight, sellers don't need to compete. They just wait. And that's exactly what they're doing. At the start of 2026, there was real optimism. Rates had been falling. In late February, the 30-year fixed dipped below 6% for the first time in years. People were getting excited. Then on February 28th, the U.S. and Israel launched joint strikes on Iran. Oil prices climbed. Inflation followed. The Fed started talking about rate hikes instead of cuts, and mortgage rates went right back up. The 30-year fixed is now sitting around 6.37%, up from the 6.09% low just weeks earlier. That might not sound like much, but here's what it means in real dollars. Buying at $408,800, 20% down, $327,000 loan. At 6%, your payment is $1,960. At 6.5%, it's $2,067. That's $107 more every month, $1,300 more per year, before taxes, insurance, or maintenance. To qualify at 6.37%, you need to earn around $105,000 to $110,000 a year. The median household income is $80,000. The average American family is $25,000 to $30,000 short of qualifying for the average house. And every time rates tick up, thousands more buyers get priced out entirely. People aren't choosing not to buy. They literally cannot afford to. Here's something that actually changes how you should think about this market. For the first time in years, wages are growing faster than home prices. Wage growth is running 3 to 4% annually. Home price growth has slowed to 1 to 2% in real terms after inflation, which is currently at 3.3%, the highest in over 2 years. In inflation-adjusted terms, homes are not getting more expensive as fast as they used to. The gap between what people earn and what homes cost is slowly narrowing. Economists call this a real terms correction. No crash, no drama. Prices flatline while incomes catch up. Boring. But actually the healthiest way for an overheated market to cool. The catch. This only works if rates don't go higher. This is not a one-size-fits-all market. The strongest markets are in the Midwest and Northeast. Milwaukee, Connecticut, New Jersey, Illinois, Wisconsin, Nebraska. Still relatively affordable, tight inventory, people keep moving there. The struggling markets are the pandemic darlings. Austin and Dallas prices surged 40 to 60% between 2020 and 2022. Builders ramped up supply. Now migration has slowed. Florida insurance costs have gotten brutal, and affordability is stretched. More supply, fewer buyers, prices cracking, and the segment getting hit hardest: condos. Far more listings than buyers in many markets. Rising HOA fees, punishing insurance costs, especially in Florida, and historically weak appreciation. When the market softens, condos feel it first. Millions of homeowners are sitting on 2.5% to 3.5% mortgages from 2020 to 2022. If they sell, they take on a new loan at 6.37%. On a $400,000 home, the difference between a 3% and 6.37% rate is $850 a month, so they don't sell unless they have to. Inventory stays low, prices stay up, affordability stays crushed. Buyers can't afford to buy, sellers don't want to sell. The whole thing freezes. A few things are being tried. First, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac directed to buy more mortgage-backed securities. Rates dipped briefly, then came back. A one-time injection into a $12 trillion market doesn't move the needle, and cheaper financing mostly just lets buyers pay higher prices. It doesn't fix affordability. Second, banning institutional investors from single-family homes. Emotional argument, weak data. Institutional investors own less than 3% of all single-family homes. Remove every one of them tomorrow, prices don't budge. The problem is supply. Third, portable mortgages. Take your 3% rate with you when you move. Interesting idea. Banks hate it. It would permanently lock in their losses. Probably not happening soon, but if it ever did, it could genuinely shake things loose. Fourth, building on federal land. The government owns 28% of U.S. land. Around 7% is near cities. A task force is working on it. Best case, homes in 5 to 10 years. Long-term play. The result? Oxford Economics, Redfin, Zillow, and J.P. Morgan all project flat to very modest price growth through the rest of 2026. Factor in inflation, and that's a real terms price decline. Homes quietly getting cheaper even if the number on the listing doesn't move. If this is useful and you want more, subscribe. Final section is what actually matters, what you should do with all of this. No, not even close. In 2008, millions of people who couldn't afford homes were given mortgages anyway. Subprime loans, liar loans, interest-only products, all mainstream. The system was built on fiction. Today, homeowners have enormous equity. The typical owner accumulated over $128,000 in housing wealth over the past 6 years. Foreclosures in 2024 totaled $174,100. In 2008, they hit 2.3 million. A crash requires mass forced selling. That's not what we have. But this is also not 2021. You can't buy any home at any price and expect 20% appreciation in a year. The easy money era is over. From here, you have to do your homework. Here's my honest read. If you're a buyer on the sidelines, the math is tough right now. But if you find a motivated seller and you're planning to stay 5 to 7 years, there are deals available. Builders especially. Some are offering 10 to 14% in incentives, including rate buydowns. Real money. If you're selling, you're in a trickier spot than 2 years ago. Buyers are cautious, homes are sitting longer. Price it right from day one. Don't test high and plan to drop. Buyers see the same data you do. If you're not buying right now, that's completely fine. Renting, living below your means, and investing the difference is a legitimate strategy. An index fund doesn't have a leaky roof. It doesn't come with a 6.4% mortgage. If the math doesn't work for your numbers, the worst thing you can do is force it, because you feel like you're supposed to own by a certain age. The market is stuck between two forces: low inventory keeping prices up, high rates keeping buyers out. Something, a rate drop, a geopolitical shift, a supply move, will eventually break this loose. Until then, the move is always the same. Run your numbers. Know your market. Know your timeline. Don't let headlines make the decision for you. The people who come out of this in the best shape aren't the ones who panic bought or panic sold. They're the ones who stayed calm, ran the math, and moved when it made sense. Now you have the full picture. Drop a like if this helped and subscribe. A lot more of this coming.